Hi there and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. Today we're going to have a look at how to create a header where the logo but spreads across two rows in the header. So this can help you to elevate your design whenever it comes to your headers so that you can actually stand out from the crowd. Alright, so if you're interested in that, grab your favorite beverage and let's jump right in. Okay, so I have created this, but I'm just going to refresh it here to see where we're going to be starting from. Alright, so I have this page created called Split Logo 2 Header Sections. A very creative name, I know. And I have just uploaded the layout for the mortgage broker for the landing page on this. So that's all I've done so far. So you can see this is the default header that you would normally get with when you build out a Divi page. All right, so what we have to do now is we jump into the Divi theme builder. How do we get there? We go from the dashboard, we go Divi, theme builder, and it'll open up over here. All right, so we have the different options that we can use to create in the Divi theme builder. So if I create a global header over here, that will spread across every page that's in the website. But for this instance here, I don't really want to use that. So I'm going to use a bit of a different one and create my own. So build new template. And I only want this to show on this page that we're going to work on. So I'm saying specific pages and I'm selecting the split logo header sections. So this is a very nice feature to have because perhaps on your website, you might have certain pages, like maybe your blog, you want a different header on your blog compared to your rest of your website. So it helps to have this section and to know how to use it. All right, so if we go now and we just create that template, and now we have the option now, see, it's very similar to the previous template over here. We can build our header, we can build our body and our footer. So in this case, we want to build the header. So I just say build a custom header and it'll open up in its own time. And we are, wow, it's taking so long today. And we are good to go. All right, so here we have the usual that we would see. It's got the section and the rows that we can put in. Now for this particular kind of instance, or this particular tutorial, I don't want to make use of the standard section that we have here, but I rather want to add in what we call a speciality section. So if I click on that, you see we get all these fancy little ones that come up here. I want this one over here. All right, that's going to open up. And now I have the orange one at the bottom. So let's just get rid of the blue one. And we have this one over here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to give this a background so that I can see clearly what's happening. I have some predetermined backgrounds here. There we go. Put in a nice purple. And I can see now this is everything that is happening. So I can see there's the padding. Okay. Here I can add in my row, so nothing's there yet. All right. So this section, I want to do a few settings. I want to jump into design. And I want to go to sizing, and I want to say equalize column heights. I want to say custom gutter width, and I want to push the custom gutter width to 1. I also then want to go down to inner width. I want to make sure that's 100%. And for inner max width, I want to push that so that I can sort of have a full screen. So I'm going to put that at 3250. Okay, so now the whole should be taking up the whole screen. And we can move on from there. Next thing I want to do is I also want to jump into spacing, and I want to make sure that my padding is 0. I don't want that padding to come into play. Remember the padding I showed you earlier? All right, then column 1 padding, I also want to make that 0. That's the column 1. And then column 2, guess what? Also 0. All right, so basically I want no padding on this section itself. And I think, yep, that should be okay. We hit that. And let's go and then put in a logo. So I want to put in an image over here. I want to go find my image. I think it's at the bottom somewhere. Yep, there it is. Let's upload that. And yep, he looks okay. For now, maybe I just want to make him maximum width about 70%. Okay, and then I want to put him in the center. All right, now let's move on to this side. Excuse me. Let's put in a row. So the row, if I recall, it's got the social icons on the top row. So let's just make that a single row. And we go to the bottom and we say social media follow. Okay, so by default, we have the Facebook and X. Let's add in the YouTube. And okay, now maybe we put the alignment. Excuse me. All right, so the alignment we've pushed across to the side so you can see it a bit clearer. It looks a bit tacky, right? Because the colors do not match. They stand out too much from the rest of the design. So one tip that I can always give is when you're doing design work like this, is you always want to try integrate the different things into your design rather than them dictating your design. So how do we do that? Well, one simple way to do that is you take the backgrounds and make it similar to the color schemes that you're using. So Divi makes that quite easy, thankfully. So if we jump into the content again over here, we have each of the individual items. So all we do is we just jump into each setting of each one and we just take out the background and put in the background that we want. And you can see there it changes. Okay. So simple, so easy. That's what Divi's here for. All right. So we do that with all three. And finally the YouTube red. Let's get rid of that. All right, you can see that it really looks much cleaner and much nicer. All right, so let's just save that. And now we go back to the global ones and we say border. Let's hit this border up and 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 up. I think about a 14 or a 15 should be good. All right, 15, there we go. So it's now nice and round. So I think if we go back to content and we go here, and we go background, we can also do the hover. But I'm not sure what color we would make it though that would work nice in our scheme. But anyways, let's just take hover. Let's take this color and make it darker. Okay. Let's see how that is. Will it show? No, it won't show. We'll have to see it on the front end. Anyways, but you can do things like that. You can also make it so that when you hover, the background color will change and you have that dynamicity. I don't know, but it can be more dynamic in your website. All right, so we've put that in. We're quite happy with how that looks and feels. Oh, wait a minute. There's something that we did wrong here. I just realized. Oh, actually, this top row is supposed to be dark. If we recall, we don't have it there anymore, but if we recall, the top row is actually dark. So then we will alternate that, make that, grab the other purple, and let's just change these backgrounds again quickly. Okay, so there it is. We've got that purple there. And if we want to make it this, maybe we could make it a deep purple. There we go. Don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see how it goes just so that we can see that at play. All right, let's go for the next one. If we take that again for this color, we just take that purple. Okay, and for YouTube, same thing. We have the regular one, and then we hover and put in the other purple. Okay, and then that should be that. So that's all we needed to do for that row. Now we need to jump onto the second row. The second row had the two elements. It had the menu on this side and had the button on this side, so that means we would need two columns over here. So let's just grab those two columns. And then on the left is the easy one. We just throw in the menu. Okay, the menu is in. Let's move that out of the way so you can see clearer. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we obviously want to take out that background, make it transparent. All right, that looks much better. Then we want to jump into the design menu text. And we want to change the menu color. Remember, don't take the active link color. We want the menu text color, and let's make that white. Make this semi-bold. Push this to 16. That looks better already. And our alignment we want to put in the center. Okay. It's looking decent. Let's close that off and let's go put in the button. Alright, so what the button said was get started, if I recall. And if we jump into design, push our alignment to the right, so it's the same. We're going to do the same for those two. Then we want to go button, and we want to customize the styling for the button. Okay, we want to push this to 14, make the text color the purple. And then we wanted to jump into the background, give it the dark purple. Okay, that's looking like something. Give this a border width of 3. Okay. Then border color, we want to give it the same. Dark purple. And the border radius, let's play around with it. Get a bit of a, there we go. Alright. Letter spacing, we pushed it a bit, right? There we go. 3 looks good. And then we made that ultra bold. Okay, we don't want to show the button icon. We want to jump into spacing. At the top, let's put 12 pixels. And on the sides, let's put 35. Alright, all these things I'm making here, obviously you can put any styling that you want. If you want more padding or any other different colors, feel free to go ahead. And then the final thing is the box shadow on the inside. Okay, so the other thing is button text color. If we hover over, we want the button to change to white. Okay, I think that is okay. All right, and then one thing we want to do here is that if we go menu text, we go to color, we also do hover, and we change the hover to the deep purple. Okay, doesn't really show up that nice, but okay. Anyways, just so that we can see how it looks. All right, let's now look at the other things. So first thing I want to do is I want to remove the padding, the excess padding. So just like the others that we did, I want to hit 0, 0, and see how that works. All right, so 0, 0 works decent, but we need a bit of padding for the icons to stand out decent. So let's push that up to 10 and 10. Okay, that's looking better, but I think maybe a little bit more. Let's try 15. 15 looks much nicer. Okay, then same thing at the next one. All right, so we start off with the same 0 and close of 0. That's not going to work. Let's push it to 20. 20 works okay. I think 20 can work. All right, so let's save 20. But one thing though is the menu doesn't seem like it's central. So what we need to do with that one is maybe push it down using the margin. Spacing. Top margin, let's push that down 20. 20 might be too much. Let's go with 15. I think 15 looks okay because it sort of aligns with the button then. Okay, so for me that's alright. Okay, so the only thing left now I think is the image. So we made it all good. I think the only thing I would like to do is I push it down a bit. And that's quite simple to do because we've been doing that now quite a few times. Margin, let's push it down 25 and see. Yeah, I think that's good. Right, I'm happy with that. So let's save that, save this. Just close this so we can save and register our header. And let's go see how does that look on the front end. Okay, that's looking pretty decent. The only thing I still want to do perhaps is push this across because it doesn't have any spacing over there. It's too tight against the end. So let's just go and change that. So once that opens up, I want to jump into the settings for the row. I'm going to design, spacing, and padding right. I want to say 5%, and it pushes across. Okay, that's looking good. What about this one? Let's do the same thing. Spacing right, 5%. Okay, and it's all nicely aligned over there, so that looks much better for me. All right, save this. Jump into the front end. See, is this how we want it? Yeah, I think that's good enough for me, especially for now. I'll be quite happy with that. All right, so that's basically how easily you can have a logo that spreads across 2 different rows. So you have the one that's over here, and then you can break these up into 2 different rows. This helps to make it, as I said earlier, it just helps to give you that little bit extra with regards to the design. It gives you more options. If you have more creativity than I do, which I'm sure you do, you can really make this look fantastic. So I hope this tutorial has been useful for you, and if it has, please do hit that like button in the bottom there to let me know. I am still planning to make more Divi tutorials as I learn more about Divi. So do hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified about when the next one comes out. Your feedback is very valuable, so please do leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions for future videos. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.